Welcome to Concept Will Beam, the podcast, where the intention is well, but let's be for real. Life gets a little chaotic, and so do we. And that's totally fine. It's fine. You're fine. I'm fine. We're literally fine. And we're all about finding the balance while staying honest with health, wellness, and all the juicy topics that matter. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Concept Will Beam, the podcast where the intention is well. My name is Jade, and I'm not your host for today's episode. We have Kai-Lee here, who's going to be your host. So I'm going to pass the microphone over to her. And Kai-Lee, welcome.
Thanks, Jade. And thank you so much for allowing me to host on such a beautiful podcast. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you, or thanks for having me, I guess. I'm switching
Yeah.
seats today.
Right, no problem. It's literally my pleasure. I really wanted to kind of pick your brain about sound healing and certain other things, mainly because we are collaborating with
Yes.
a beautiful course on a platform that I've built called True Alchemy Academy. And there's so much to learn from you.
I'm excited to chat. I'm excited for our chat. We're going to have a good one.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little rowdy, but it's okay. It's all right. I'm excited.
First of all the
Yeah.
good chats are rowdy.
Hell yeah.
Of course, sometimes we just have to riot and like that it is what it is.
Yes.
So let's just dive right in today.
Hell yeah. Okay. Let's
Since
get into it.
the audience already knows who you are and they know kind of a little bit of your story, let's put you in the seat of being an advanced or an expert in your field. So, can you tell us a little bit about sound healing in very simple terms?
Yes, I can. So basically, sound healing is using sound with the intention to shift a person's state to
Mm,
support their well being, balance, or help them relax. That is the simplest way to describe sound healing.
this is nice. And
Mhm.
how does sound healing do it? Like, is it like through vibration? Is it through frequency? Can you share that?
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to use a metaphor because I love a metaphor. So before we get into it, it's important to know that everything in the world is made out of atoms. Okay. Everything except for energy. So take that part out. But everything in the world, including me and you, our bodies are made out of atoms. Atoms vibrate. That's just like what they do. They just be vibing all the time. They wake up, vibe, go to sleep, vibes. That's what they do. And the speed, I told you it was going to be rowdy.
They
The
wake up,
speed
vibe, they go to sleep.
vibes. They basically have sunglasses on all the time. They're vibing all the time. Exactly. And so the speed at which they vibe, that's called frequency. So if you've ever heard someone be like, yeah, we're just on different frequencies, that's actually what they're saying. Like the vibe is just a little different. Okay. So that is what frequency is. So basically, our bodies have a natural frequency. So let's say, for the purpose of this metaphor, our body is at 72. That's where we like to be. That's where we stay at. Okay, so metaphor time. Let's say it's a Friday night and I decide I want to go to the club. Why? I have no idea. I just decide I want to go to the club. Typically, I stay at 72, okay? But I had a really rough day, okay? Am feeling anxious, I'm feeling tired, and instead of being at 72, I am at 62, okay? But I'm still at the club. I'm still on the dance floor. I'm still hitting my little two-step, whatever. I'm still vibing. Okay. So then my bestie comes in and I love her down. For the purpose of this metaphor, my bestie is a sound healing instrument, okay? She walks in and her vibe is high. Like she's just like, Jade, why are you just hitting your two-step? She's like, dance with me. And I'm like, okay, I'll dance with you. So I start dancing with her. And all of a sudden, I'm like, Jade, your 62 is kind of whack. Like, match her. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, get to her level. So I'm dancing. Instead of hitting my two step, I'm like really like shaking ass on the floor now, just with my friend. And, and
Okay.
now instead of being at 62, I'm at 72. She brought me to 72 and we're matching. And now we resonate. Okay. So
Uh,
that is how sound healing works. Basically, your bestie comes in and you decide that you want to match her. And that's what you do. You just sync up. And now y'all are dancing together. The same thing happens with your brain. So that's called entrainment. So basically, think of sound healing as like a very influential bestie, but It'll match, like, it'll help you sync up your brain, your blood pressure, your breathing. Everything will start to match whatever your bestie is on. Like, you're trying to be where your bestie is at all times. And yeah, I feel like that's basically sound healing.
I really like this bestie metaphor. I want to stay on this topic, so let's
Okay.
continue with bestie.
Okay.
Can bestie be any common instrument? Does it have to be a sound bowl, or can bestie be like an acoustic guitar or like rocks hitting each other, hands
Solid.
clapping?
Yes, solid question. So it doesn't have to be a sound bowl, which I think is a very common instrument that people typically associate sound healing with, is like a crystal bowl or like the metal Himalayan Tibetan bowls. But it can be really the intention is really important behind when you're doing sound healing. But there's gongs, there's chimes. What else is there? Guitars. I've had like guitars played for me during sound baths. Flutes. I love a flute situation.
Mm.
It really is whatever the facilitator decides to use. There's drums. People can use their voice as well. And your voice is actually a very powerful instrument because it also has its own power behind it. It's really beautiful. So don't forget that you can use that. Yes, it doesn't just have to be a sound bowl. It can be a lot of other instruments.
Wow, that's beautiful. I love that. And you
Yes.
mentioned that in the certain sessions you've had different instruments. Is
Hmm.
that typical of sessions, like to go in and out of different instruments, or what does a typical session look like?
I think that is a great question, Kaylee. I think it really is up to the facilitator or like the guide, what instrument really resonates with them. I think with a sound bath, it's really beautiful because it kind of is a window into what the facilitator resonates with. So, yes, it doesn't just have to be a sound bowl. Like, I have had different experiences where it is just sound bowls and they play it differently throughout the entire 45 minutes to an hour. Some people like they'll switch up instruments every like 5 minutes. So it really does depend on what the facilitator wants to do. Sometimes it'll strictly be gongs. So it really does depend.
Do you think that the history of sound healing influences each facilitator differently?
I do think so. I think that, for example, like I went to Peru last year and there they do something called Icaros. And so that's basically where they are singing to you throughout your plant medicine ceremony, so throughout ayahuasca. And I think that it makes sense that the person that is from Peru is using Icaros, not to say like that's the only option for her, but I think it makes sense that she was influenced and was like, you know what, this is something that comes from my culture. I want to use it. So I think so, but I also don't think that people are boxed in. Like don't feel like, well,
Mm,
I'm from Greece. I can only use like sound healing techniques from Greece, you know?
right. Yeah, yeah. Interesting. Is there a point in Is there a point in history where we can actually like pinpoint how sound healing started, or do you think it's just kind of like everyone like into
Yeah, so I have looked into it and there really is no starting point for sound healing, which I think
Mm,
really shows that everyone was on the same vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone just knew, but
you know
everyone,
what? Let's dance
yeah,
and sing and play the drum.
it's healing. Why not? So like throughout history, there is so many records. There's so many records of different ancient civilizations using sound healing, but it doesn't show exactly where it started. It just shows, hey, everyone. It just popped up and everyone started using it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love how in ancient history, when you look at healing techniques or like differences in the culture, there are so many similarities, and you really think like, how did these guys from opposite sides of the world
Yeah.
how are they on the same vibe? It's so interesting to me. Anyway, let's get back into your story because I
Okay.
love how you know so many facts about sound healing, but I want to know like how you got into it as a person because you obviously didn't do it the whole 31 years that you've been on earth.
No.
So, how were you even introduced to it?
Okay. This is a story. This is definitely a story. And I will say the great thing about the podcast is that when I was first introduced to it, I accidentally recorded the entire process. And so 2 years ago. Yeah, there are maybe like 3 or 4 episodes. If you guys are like, if I mean, we only have like 45 minutes of this podcast, but if you guys really want like a full, like Jade is figuring out as she goes, there's like, it's called The Concept of Bali. And it is really just me being like, you guys, I don't know what's going on. You guys, I don't know. I met this lady, but I'm just letting you guys know. Okay, so let me give you guys the shortened version. So basically, 2 years ago, I went to Bali for my 30th birthday because I thought it would be super duper cutesy, and my entire goal was to sit by the pool, eat French fries, and mind my business, and drink margaritas, eat French fries, and read books. That's it. That was on the game plan. The other thing that it's important for you guys to know is that before I went on this trip, I was talking to my mom. And she was just like, so what are you going to do? And I was like, I don't know. Whatever I do, I don't want to talk to a shaman. Okay. Keep that in mind for the rest of the story. Yeah. That was like, sorry, respectfully, I know you're a shaman, but like, I wasn't trying to
No, but
grow
like
at
you
this point.
literally said no.
The other thing is, at this time in my life, I had moderate to severe anxiety. Like, it was just coursing through my veins. Like, I was just like an anxious girl. I feel like I grew up anxious. Like, I woke up in like second grade and was like, oh my God, I'm so stressed. I need a Capri Sun. So, been stressed.
Give me a juice
Anyway, so
box right now.
exactly. I'm like, stat, you guys. This long division is stressing me out. And so So I go to Bali and I'm like, okay, I don't really have any plans. Like, I'm just here for the vibes or whatever. I end up getting slightly tipsy off margaritas and I'm like, what am I going to do? And I decided that I was going to go to a sound bath because it sounded fun. So I went. I actually really didn't love it, to be honest with you. The guy next to me was snoring so loud and it really did not hit like the way that I wanted it. Before he started snoring, I did start to see like a purple pulsing light, but that was like cut short because he started snoring. Anyways, I end up like drifting somewhere. I wake up, and the only reason I wake up out of the sound bath is because I feel my hand move onto something, and I was like, what's going on? And so I wake up and my hand is on a rose, and I'm like, that's weird. Mind you, the other 3 guys I think I was with, they're already sitting down talking to the facilitator. The sound bath was over. So at some point, I drifted off, woke up because the other facilitator moved my hand onto a rose. And I was like, that's weird. What is this? The Bachelorette? Like, does everyone get a rose? I'm confused. So don't think anything of it, and I go back to my hotel. And at this point in time, I was trying to finish up my 200-hour yoga teacher training, and I had been working on doing a crow pose, and I could not do it like at all. So I go back and I'm practicing my crow pose, and this is the first time I'm able to get into crow pose, and I hold it like it wasn't an accident. Like, I hold it, and I was like, and as soon as my feet touch the ground, I get like a notification on my phone. Why was I on my phone when I'm doing yoga? That's not the point. The point is I get a notification and it's like, hey, do you want to do this sound bath training? And I was like, that's weird, but I'm here for the plot. Why not? I was like, it'd be hilarious if I take this sound healing training for a day. It'll be funny, right? Everything, most of the things that I do in life is because I'm like, it'll be funny. Wouldn't that just be funny if? And so I go to the training and they're like, why are you here? And I'm like, I don't know. I just felt like I should come here. I don't know, for the vibes. And
I'm
we
here
talk
because
about
my tummy touched the floor after I did crow, and that's how I
exactly.
started my training. So what's up?
Exactly. Like, this makes sense to me logistically. And so we go through the history of like sound bowls and everything. And then we go through something called self acoustical massage, which is basically where you put a metal bowl on top of your body and at different points in your body, and you hit the bowl. And it's supposed to be a really deep massage because the vibrations can go really deep into your body, deeper than like a regular massage. And so we do that, and I'm like, oh, this is cute. And then we get to my heart, which is where I hold most of my anxiety and my tension. And
Mm.
I do the acoustical massage, and like something like cracks open. Like, it was a very extreme experience for me. And so everything just like kind of melted away. And I didn't realize how much tension and stress was held in my body until it was gone. And so I open my eyes, I look at the facilitators, and they're just like, what's up? And I was like, you guys don't realize? I think you guys
What
just
do you mean
like,
what's up?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, you don't realize you just changed my entire life. Like at this point in time, my therapist was like, Jade, I think that it's time for you to go on medication. You are so anxious. And so I had told her I didn't want to. And I was like, I feel like I just found what I was looking for. And that is what I said to them. I was like, I feel like I just found what I was looking for. So that was the first day of sound healing training. After that, I decided I was going to sign up for the other 2 days because why not? Right? Like it changed my life. The second day was pretty chill. Like I think we went over how to do a sound bath for others. And then the third day is when I got my shit rocked, like aggressively. Oh, so I think I forgot how we started out. I will say, like, I forgot how we started out. I don't remember if we started out with the like they gave me a sound bath or they gave me. I think they gave me a sound bath. Anyways, the long story short is I end up crying, which you guys don't know this about me. Actually, if you're my listener, you know I don't like crying. Like I don't just be crying. If I'm gonna cry, I would like for it to be in the shower, in the car. You know what I'm saying? A curated
An appropriate
experience.
space. Yeah,
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 like I
yeah.
don't
Where
just be
I'm controlled.
crying. Yeah, like I
Yeah.
don't just be crying in front of people. And so I end up
Mm.
crying with these like with the facilitators for like a long time. And it's not just like oh like one tear drops. Like I'm crying. I am basically offloading my entire like life onto these people.
Everything
And
that
they're
was in
like
your chest is coming out now through your eyes.
yes, exactly. And they just let it happen and they're just so supportive. And I remember before all of this started, I picked an Oracle card and they were like, just pick a card, see how it goes. And the Oracle card that I got was something about adventure and something about flow. And I was just like, no shit. Like, I'm all the way in Bali. Like, obviously, like, I'm such a baby hater. Like, I was just like, you guys, like, this is not
No,
profound.
but like honestly, like for real though, they're so cryptic sometimes that it's like cool. Like,
Yeah,
do you want to get bullied back? Like, I feel like I'm being bullied and I have to be sassy back. Like, what are you doing?
exactly. Like, I was just like, you
You want me to
guys,
do
I
this?
was,
Then hook me up.
right.
Show me a better sign. What the hell?
Exactly. Like I'm supposed to like you guys know who I am as a person. Don't think I'm like that deep. Anyways, so the point is that I got that and I was just like whatever, I don't think anything of it. I start crying. We start having deep conversations. We're talking about the chakras and all this stuff. I tell them I somehow connect like the purple pulsing light that I saw during that first sound bath
Yeah.
with like my crown chakra and they're smiling like they're like she's finally getting to where we needed to get it. It's like they knew I don't know, whatever. Actually, they did know, but I'll get to that point. Anyways, so I'm sitting there, I'm crying, and I think the lady is just like, "Hey, like you seem like you have a lot going on." She's a very loving person, very loving, very lovely lady. She was like, "Hey, you seem like you would really benefit from the ceremony that we're doing later tonight or the next day or whatever. Would you like to come?" And I was like, "What is the ceremony?" And she's just like, "It's plant medicine. Basically, you're going to be sitting in a villa in the dark, and it'll help you get the answers that you need." That was it. That's all she said to me, and I was like,
Okay.
"Okay." That sounds, yeah, like I was just like, okay, that sounds interesting. Mind you, I didn't even know what the plant medicine was.
I mean, the card said adventure and flow. So what are you gonna do? Obviously, you gotta go for sure. Also, this flow card is such a double entendre. Like flow, and you're also crying.
Exactly. Thank you. All these things, like, I'm just like, bro, please. The one thing that I did ask her, I was like, so have you done it before? And she's like, yeah, I have done it. I was like, okay, what happened when you did it? And she was like, well, when I did it, everything around me turned into cockroaches. And I was like, excuse me? What the fuck do you mean?
What the
She was like, the person next to me turned into cockroaches. There were cockroaches on the wall. Like everything turned into cockroaches. She's not selling the story to me. I'm not going to lie to you. Like at this point,
what
I was
the
just like,
fuck
I
is she
don't,
talking about?
exactly. So then she's just like,
Why
everything
am I
turned
gonna
into
come?
cockroaches. Exactly. Like I was just like, you're not really, girl. I hate cockroaches. That's gross.
Girl, I
And
don't
then,
wanna come.
like, I'm just like, if you're trying to, I think what. Okay, so everything turned into cockroaches, and then she was freaking out, and then she's like, "I realized that cockroaches are afraid of the dark. I turned myself into a
Oh,
light, and the cockroaches went away. Everything turned into butterflies." And I was like, "Okay." So like, she
don't be
learned
stressed.
that like she has a light inside of her, which I'm like, that's a very dramatic way to learn that, but
For
okay.
sure.
Yes.
Can I just
So
like see my own like pulsating?
yeah, like I was just like, I'm not trying to do that. But in my head, like that, I was like, am I mentally prepared to fight cockroaches? That's all I was thinking in my head after that. And
No, you're
so,
you
which
were
anyone would, right? Like anyone would be like,
100%.
so
I wasn't even
that was
there
in
and I'm
my
grossed
head.
out. So.
Yeah, like I was just like, this is not, I don't know that this is my vibe, but I'll consider it. And then we did another, I think we went on to acoustical massage, where they gave me
Mm.
acoustical massage. I end up crying again, like, and I'm just like, Jade, what is going on? And that's when I was just like, oh shit, the adventure and everything like that, it's going to be me feeling my feelings. This is ass. I hate this for me. And so me and my driver, like, we leave or whatever, and the entire way back to my hotel, I'm seeing 222 everywhere. That is my favorite number. And I'm stressed out. Like, the driver is like, Jade, are you okay? And I'm just sitting here freaking the fuck. Like, I'm like, should I go to the ceremony? I don't know. I don't know. And I call my mom and I call my best friend. My best friend tells me, Jade, don't do it. My mom, who is very much like the person that would be like, Jade, if you don't feel comfortable doing it, don't do it. She was like, Jade, I feel like if you don't do it, you're going to regret it. You'll always wonder what if. And that was really interesting coming from my mom because that's just not her thing. And so I texted the girl and I was like, I'll do the ceremony. So I decided I'm going to do the ceremony. So I texted the lady. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do the ceremony. And she's just like, all right, cool. For tomorrow, make sure that you don't eat past noon and then just try and be really nice to yourself. Maybe go to the spa, drink a lot of coconut water, just love on yourself. And I was like, okay, great. I got you. So I go to the spa and I'm sitting there. I'm freaking out the entire day. I'm like, what? I'm mentally preparing to fight my subconscious. And I don't know what's in here. It might be crazy. It might be like, I'm scared. Like, I'm scared what's inside of me. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do a meditation. So I go on YouTube and I pick a meditation that is 22 minutes, 22 seconds. That's the only reason I pick it. Because I'm like, 222, yes, cute. It is a meditation for me to meet my guides. I'm not thinking anything of it. 20 minutes, done. I go to the ceremony that night and I'm like, okay, I'm sitting there like the SpongeBob meme, like just over a hot cup of coffee, like, oh my God, what am I doing here? We are waiting for the people to set up. They call us in to talk to a shaman. And I was like, what the fuck do you mean, a shaman? I didn't want to talk
This is
to a
exactly
shaman.
what I didn't want.
Exactly. I was like, this is not the vibes. I walk in there and it's the facilitator. It's her husband. And I was like, oh, you bitch. I've been talking to you for the last 3, 4 days. You've been a shaman the entire time. Like, I just thought you were really deep. And so he's just like, Jade, what is your intention? Like, what are you hoping to get? And I didn't know that that was a question he was going to ask. And so what pops out of my mouth is, I feel like I need answers. I think I need to like talk to my guides or something like that. Not thinking anything. Like, this is just, I'm just yapping. And he's like, okay, cool. And I walk out. And so the ceremony starts, focus on my intention, and I end up getting a oracle card that's like something about forgiveness. And I was just like, oh God, whatever. And so I
And you've
take,
resisted this the entire time. Like I love how you're just like, oh my God, constantly rolling your eyes. Exactly what I didn't fucking want happened. What the hell am I doing here? You guys, shut up. Forgiveness doesn't matter.
yes, like I'm like, I don't, again, I was just trying to eat French fries and drink
And
margs.
have
And
margaritas by
now,
the pool. No, I get it,
exactly.
girl.
And now I'm trying to like, I'm like deep in thought. Like, I was just trying to chill, bro. And so I am sitting in this villa in the dark. And when they said the dark, I just thought it was just gonna be a couple candles. Kai-Lee, it is pitch dark. Like, the only light is coming through the cracks in the walls from the moonlight. And I'm sitting here in the dark having an anxiety attack because I just took plant medicine in a fucking foreign country. No one's here. If I have a psychotic break, who's gonna get me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, Jade, what did you just
100%.
do? This is crazy.
Girl, you
The other thing
adventured
that
too hard there.
I was like, I fear you've done too much. The other thing is, once I came back and like told my friends, they were like, weren't you afraid you were going to get sex trafficked? I was like, I actually didn't consider that, but now
Oh
I'm
my
also
God, me
really,
neither.
that was a bit dangerous. And don't do what I did, okay? But it got results. Anyways, so I'm sitting there having a full anxiety attack. Like, I'm talking like I'm focusing on my breath because I'm like, Jade, do not have a heart attack in these people's villa. That will be so embarrassing. And so
I'm staying alive, so I'm not embarrassed. Come on.
because it would be so embarrassing if they have to call the ambulance and be like, what happened? She just, I don't know, she just freaked out. Anyways,
Oh,
and
she's had a
so
heart attack.
I don't know. And like, I'm just like, I can't take the pressure of it. And so I'm sitting there just like, Jade, focus on your breath. And then all of a sudden, the plant medicine kicks in, and I just feel like this very like warm, loving presence. And it's basically like all of this is happening. Like, I'm not actually talking, but I'm going to tell you what's going on in my head. Basically, I hear Jade, and I'm like, what? What the fuck was that? And it's my guides. And like, I can see them, and they look like colors and like feelings. I don't know how to explain that. Anyways, so they were like, you wanted to chat? And I was like, I know you're fucking lying. Like, I was just like, are you guys for real here? Like, I was like, is anyone else?
Am I fucking tripping or what? Like,
I fear the plant medicine was plant medicine in. And so I was like, okay, yeah, like you guys are here. And so basically I end up spending 4 hours chatting with my spirit guides, and they are a laugh. They're such a good time. They would have to be funny to be my
to be
spirit
your
guides.
spirit guide
And so,
for sure.
right?
Yeah.
And so I end up asking them, hey, so what's good with like me crying during the sound bowl situation? Like what's up with that? Like that was a little weird. And they are like, yeah, so solid question. The way that you are meant to give love to yourself and to others is through sound. And I was like, oh, okay. And so, me being just like the skeptical person that I am, I didn't just ask them that once. I asked them that, when, you're trying to catch someone in a lie, and so you ask them the same question,
You
like,
manipulate the question.
and so I was basically doing that throughout the entire 4 hours. We would be talking
For
about
four
something, and I'd be
hours,
like, yes,
girl.
yes. And so I'd be like, hey, there was a lot of things for me to work through, but like we would be having a conversation, and then I'd go back to, hey, what was up with the sound bowls? And I'd be like, Jade, the way that you're meant to give, like they're very consistent with it. And I was like, okay, got it.
Okay, I have
Her.
a sidebar question then, because you're very
Okay.
consistent with this thought. What did you think that you were supposed to do prior to this moment?
Prior to this, I didn't have anything. Like I mean, obviously like I had a job and stuff like that. I had a career, but did I feel like that was my purpose? No. And I had always said to myself, if I ever find my purpose in life, I will give my all to it, because I've always thought it was really beautiful whenever people do have a purpose. Up until this point, I felt like I didn't have a purpose. I feel like my purpose was just vibing. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just here living the like
Okay,
human
technically it is
experience.
vibing. You did say
Exactly.
that sound bowls are vibrations, so I mean,
Exactly.
you already knew low key.
Yes, exactly. So like I was just here, you know what I'm saying? Vibing, doing what I do. And so I really didn't have anything that I was like, oh, this is what I need to be like throwing myself into. Everything I was just kind of like, whatever about. This was the first time where I was just like, okay, what clearer message could you ask for other than like, this is a very clear purpose for you to do. Your guides have told you this in 17 different ways. The other thing is, I asked, okay, so this is really great that me and you guys get to talk. Love this for us, but I can't be flying to Bali every time I need to talk to you guys. This is not sustainable. How can we chat outside of this? And they were like, you'll chat to us through the bowls. Anytime you need to talk to us, you play the bowls and we'll come and we'll talk to you. And so that has been really helpful. So every time I meditate, I know, like, we'll have a chat and I can ask questions, and it's a very clear communication line. And I'm really grateful that that happened. So that is pretty much how I got into it. I was not a believer. I was forced into it. And ever since then, I mean, I think the person that I am, like, I was just like, okay, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't just like hitting bowls, making a lot of noise and stuff like that. And so
Yeah.
I think I spent a lot of time understanding why sound healing works. Why did it work for me? How does it work for others? If this is something that I'm meant to share with people, I wanted to really throw myself into it and really deeply understand it. So that is my story on how I got thrusted into the world of sound healing.
I think the most important, like not important, but maybe the most impactful healers at first are very resistant and then they kind of get like thrown off a cliff
That was very much
by
it.
their guide.
It was just like, girl, this is what you're supposed to do. Like, you didn't
But
believe it. But like, I also think it's really helpful that I didn't believe it because sometimes I know that that's always like a question where people are like, okay, well, is it like magic? Like, how's it work? And I'm like, I did not believe in it
Mm,
at all. It
yeah,
works even if you don't believe in it. So, yeah,
yeah.
helpful.
I like that. And it sounds like you were extremely intentional with learning it after you were thrown off this cliff. So it wasn't like
Hmm.
you were pushed into this and then you were like, okay, I'll just do whatever. You had like so much intention. And another question I wanted to ask, because you did mention intention before going into the ceremony, is how important is intention when creating like a space to do sound healing?
Yeah, I would say, and I'm going to stand 10 toes down on it, intention is the most important thing to me. And I think that it really makes a difference in people's experiences.
Mm.
I think that every time I do sound healing for myself and for others, I will set an intention. So I'll set an intention for me will be like I set the intention to get answers that I need or something like that, calm down, anything that I really want to focus on. But when I'm doing it for others, I will have them set an intention for whatever they want their session to be. Then I will also set an intention for the session. The intention is usually I set the intention that they get whatever they need from this
Mm.
session. And so there has been studies that show that intention works. There was a guy that did a study on I believe he did it on water where he like said the intention to waters. You know what I'm talking about? And then froze the water and then the crystallized water ice crystals
Yeah,
that
the
had an intention.
crystallization.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like like the ones that had the intention were like really cute, and then the ones that didn't were just all like kind of fugly.
They were like they looked like sacred geometry almost.
And I love sacred geometry. Like I include sacred geometry into my sound healing practice. I think that so I've done a couple of trainings and I think the one that I did after Bali was really helpful for me to understand how sound healing works in the brain and everything and really like helped really I needed like a science part of it to understand it because like the first one I did was very much like work from your heart and like and I was like yeah that's cute but like I need to prove it like I me as a person needed to I needed proof
Yeah.
and so one thing that I learned from that training was also bringing in sacred geometry and I bring it into all of my sound healing sessions so yes.
Nice. So every single time you do it, do you add sacred geometry or what does like a regular session with you look like?
Whenever I do a session, it really depends on how things are feeling, but I do bring in sacred geometry. What number I used is based off of
Mhm.
what's needed. So different numbers correspond with different needs. And so a lot of the sound baths that I will focus on will be balanced because I also think that that's just kind of everyone needs balance. And so if I'm just like, I don't know, like something just feels a little off or like we need to get things right. I'll focus on balance, which is the number 3. So 3, the triangle, it's very stable, very balanced. So balance is a big focus. Number 3 is focus, and also 4, which is a box, boundaries. So if things just kind of feel kind of like all over the place, I'll focus on boundaries, the number 4. And so it really does depend on what's needed for the people that I'm doing the sound healing for.
Nice. That's so interesting. I didn't know 3 was the number of balance.
Yes. So if you think about like the triangle, it's a very stable shape. So yeah,
Yeah.
girl, balance.
Well, I'm really excited to have you at the retreats with us in June and to also like learn and experience this because I think it'll be really cool to have you in Crete and like see it in person. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm excited because Crete by itself is lit because they love raki, which is like a special liquor. We don't have to have it,
Okay.
but I know you like margaritas by the pool, so
I mean,
I'm
when
just
in Greece, it's there.
when
It's
in
an
Greece,
option.
do as the Greeks do.
Yes. So, but it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be such a great time, and I'm so excited to do sound healing in Greece. I think it's gonna be lit.
I'm
Yeah.
excited. I'm like, the more you explain this, I'm like seeing everything in my head, and I'm like, I'm so excited to actually be able to witness your craft and like what you've studied. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Me too. I mean, I'm also looking forward to the entire retreat. Would just sound like everything. It just sounds like it's gonna be so much fun. So, all the activities, all of that.
I've
Yes.
curated this program for greatness, so don't worry. I am really curious. You said you're a non-believer. You were a non-believer, and I actually really like that because I think a lot of people are also non-believers. Who would you say sound healing is for then?
I think it's for everyone. I believe that it is for everyone. Like there's certain like if you have certain medical conditions, then I would
Yeah.
like stay away from it. But outside of that, sound healing is for everyone. I don't think it's just for the believers because you don't need to believe in it. Yeah, I
Ah.
think it's for anyone that like wants to meditate, if you're feeling stressed, depressed, if you just like want to relax, if you want to listen to it before you
Mm,
go to sleep, like if you're having trouble sleeping, and like it's for I feel like everyone can benefit from sound healing.
yeah. It's been kind of trendy these days, but I do like definitely believe that it's an ancient practice.
Honestly, I don't know that I was aware. I mean, I had done sound healing, like I had done like a sound bath before, but I didn't realize like how many people were doing sound healing until I got into it. I don't think I started to pay attention to it until I was in it. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, it's everywhere. So I love that. I think we need it because I think the world needs healing. To be honest with you, we need healing. People need healing. Everyone, yeah, we need balance.
I'm with you. I think the world could definitely all use like one giant gong and we just like hit it all at the same time and we just
Yeah.
change the vibration. That'd be really cool. I wonder if we could like set that up with different countries.
Yeah, you know what? There was actually no, I'm not gonna go on. That's gonna lead us left. I was like, I was about to go completely left. I agree with you. I agree with you. I think that it's very, we all just need one big sound bath as a collective.
Collective, we could all just like sit in a dark room and hit a gong and be like, cool.
Yeah, we're good.
Reset.
Activated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Besides, okay, so obviously you have like such a fun, open, energetic, very grounded like personality. I like that you have so much passion for things. I like that because some healers are like so not as, I don't know how to explain it, but I really like how unique you are as a person. Do you bring this uniqueness into all of your sessions? Like what sets you apart from other healers in a more saturated space, I guess?
Yeah, I think one thing, and I think I mentioned this kind of towards the beginning, but the great thing about sound baths and experiencing sound healing from people is that it really is a window into who the sound healer is because they're really
Mm,
curating an entire experience. Like when I do sound healing, I'm thinking about not just like the sounds that you're going to experience, but also like the space that you're going to walk in, how comfortable you're going to feel. Like everything is
mm,
very like thought out. And so I think that that really is for everyone. Like every sound bath that I've had, like I'll be like, oh, this is how the person wanted to share sound with us. And so I think that's really beautiful. I think the other thing that, like, when you do a sound healing session with me, one piece of advice that really stuck with me was think of the people that you're doing sound healing for is like babies, like infants, like while they're sleeping. And so when I do sound healing, I'm kind of thinking about like if you were a baby, I wouldn't just be like banging this right next to your ear, right? Like I would be like, okay, let me ease you into it and stuff like that. It's very like soft, very nurturing, and I think that
mm.
that is the energy that I bring. But I think my sound healing is very soft because it's what I would need. And so like I'm very like everyone knows I have like a lot of I don't want to claim anxiety, but like there is a lot of
Right,
anxious
okay.
energy, right?
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't need something that activates me. I would need something that calms me down. And that is what I resonate with. And so the sound bath experience that I'm curating for people is something that I would want, something that I would need. So
Right.
I don't know that I do too much talking during sound baths. You will hear my voice, and that's like to calm you down and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, I do try and bring like a little bit of my personality, but I guess I'm multifaceted. You know what I'm saying? Like she's a multifaceted girl. So yeah,
I
but I
like
do
that.
try and keep it. Yeah, I do try and like understand where people are coming from because I also was like a non-believer, and so like I'm like I get that you guys are like, I don't really know. Like this girl, she just might just be hitting bowls for no reason. And so like I try and understand that people, not everyone is going to be like, yeah, let's do it. A lot of people like me are like, what the fuck is she doing? And I try and yeah, I understand those people very well.
Nice. It sounds like you have a very like well-rounded understanding of each individual personality traits that walk through the door and join you.
I try and like understand them and like understand what's needed. I think that that is something that is very important in sound healing. Like you're not just playing, like you're kind of giving or taking. Like I don't know, it just flows. And so it's not just one thing. I feel like I'm rambling, but I feel like you have to kind of understand what's needed in order to give it.
Yeah, cool. It's intuitive, but it's also you have done so much research into how you could create a space with your intuition that would be helpful.
Yes. And the bowls and everything, they'll kind of also give you direction on what's needed in the sound that like you can hear if you listen. One of the exercises that was really helpful that I did include inside of the course, that I'm sure we'll chat about, but is one of the exercises is like really how to listen to your instruments. And so when you're listening to your instruments, you can kind of hear what's needed. It sounds different. Like if things are too activated, then you would want to
Mhm.
kind of take something away. And so you're always trying to find a balance, and you can hear the difference in the sound bowls or like your instruments. Once
Oh,
you sit with them for a while, you'll be like, oh, it's telling me it needs to release. And so we'll release. Or it's like it's released enough, now we need to activate. So you can kind of hear the difference, and I think that that exercise was very helpful for me to be able to give or take what's needed during a sound healing session.
very interesting. I like that. Okay, cool. Do you incorporate sound healing into your everyday routine then?
Yes, I do. Is I know you guys are like, Jade, is this you calm? This is me calm. So before I yes.
This is you excited though. You're like, yeah, I get to share my passion. I love that.
So I am right now focusing on meditating with my sound bowls for like 45 minutes to an hour daily. And so that is one of my ways of bringing sound healing into my daily life. Before that, I really just go with what I feel. It wasn't always 45 minutes. It would be, say, I wake up, I need 10 minutes of sitting with a bowl. My technique will change. I think meditation techniques always change by what you need. And so I'll just go off of what I need. And I think right now, I need to sit with my bowls for 45 minutes to an hour. But yes, I will bring that in. I will bring in like binaural beats and stuff like that. So it really is, yes, what is needed. But yes, I do bring in sound healing every day because I need to find balance.
Right, okay. Do you have a favorite tool that you use?
Okay, I have a couple. One of my favorite ways of um, doing sound healing every day is I have crystal sound bowls, and so I will put water
Yes.
into the crystal sound bowls, and this kind of goes to like the intention discussion that we had, but I will put water into the sound bowls, focus on my intention, do sound healing, do my entire meditation, and then at the end of it, I will drink the water. And
Mhm.
it's just, yeah, like I feel like the intention is inside of your body. So that is one of my favorite ways.
You're literally embodying it. I really like this. So do you feel more I want to use the right word here. I don't want to say confident, but like more at ease now with your practice than when you first began as a skeptic.
I will say 100% yes. I think that when I first started, I was very, yes, skeptical, but I also didn't understand how it worked. And so that to me, like,
Mm,
I was like, maybe it was kind of like a fluke, like maybe it happened on accident. And I think the second sound healing training that I did, where I understood this, like how sound worked in the body and how it impacts you, really helped me feel more confident and like learning the techniques that like will get your brain into a meditative state. That really helped me feel more confident in my practice and understanding like, yeah, sound healing does work. It's not just some random thing that I'm doing. There's evidence that shows that it works. And I mean it's ancient. Like it's not just we came up with it in 2025.
yeah,
There's
true.
Yeah, there's so many records of people using it. So yeah, I feel more confident than when I started for sure.
Nice. I like when we go into our respective fields and we begin and we're kind of like, and then all of a sudden we're
Hmm.
like, yeah, actually, like we start sprinting and we're like, yeah, this is great, actually.
Yeah, I think that it's very much like it's such a beautiful progression, especially like shout out to the people that let me try out sound healing on them for the first time because I know I was just making sounds, but practice and like just sitting with it very much needed. Yes.
Yeah, repetition is really important. I think
Hmm.
even in the beginning, you still kind of like know, and it's really nice. I love the beginning stages because you're kind of everything's new and you're like learning it. And then as you like grow in it, you're like, oh yeah, I
Yeah.
got this.
Yes.
Yeah.
One thing that I did do, which like no one really knew about, but like when I first got back from Bali, I would like sit in front of the mirror every night and give myself like a sound bath with like was different than like the meditation. Like I was like practicing giving a sound bath for others, but in the mirror for myself, which that was a really fun time for me. And I did that for a couple of months. I think that that really helped me feel more comfortable giving sound healing to others because I was like, okay, let me see how this would sound. I try and like put myself into the place of the person that would be
Mm.
receiving the sound. And that was a lot of fun for me. And I learned a lot there too.
Such a cool manifestation practice as well.
You're right.
Like,
I didn't realize I was manifesting.
yeah, yeah, visualization, and you were doing it like very, very powerfully.
Look at that. And now I'm going to be in Crete, Greece doing sound healing. So it
Yeah,
works.
so manifestation works, guys. Manifestation
Yes,
works. Just in case everyone here didn't believe in it, Jade is a perfect example.
exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Well, now it's time. We're moving on to the end of the podcast, which I know that you do. So I've gotten some written down. Myth or fact?
Yes, I'm ready.
Let's rapid fire. Sound
Okay.
healing is just woo woo BS.
False myth because we talked about the science and
Just
everything.
talked about
Yes.
everything of why.
Yes. So myth. Nope. Next one.
Cool. You need to believe in it for it to work.
Also myth because I didn't and it worked for me.
It's just like listening to relaxing music.
You know what? That is a good one. I would say effort wise, yes. I'm gonna say yes. Fact. You're because you're listening. Yeah, you don't have to put in effort when you're doing sound healing. You're just listening. Like your body is receiving the healing vibrations. Like everything is working for you. So effort wise, I would say fact.
Only spiritual people can sound that.
Only spiritual people. Myth. Myth. 100% myth.
Okay. And the last one is sound healing is a new concept. Myth.
Myth. Also myth. Yes, it's ancient. It's been around. Yes.
Well, I love this. And I really appreciate how much thought you've put into this. I appreciate a few things. Let me list them off. One, that you have allowed me to be the host on your beautiful podcast. So thank you for that.
Thank you for hosting.
Yeah, I was happy to do it. Second, I also really appreciate your faith in collaborating with me to do sound healing as a course on True Alchemy Academy.
I'm so excited for it. I think that it has been a beautiful collaboration, and I'm so excited for it to launch in my birthday month in May. So, yes, perfect alignment. But I think that that was such a great time collaborating, and I love the way I haven't seen the final product, but I know it's going to be amazing. But I'm so proud and happy of what we've created so far.
Yeah, me too. I'm very excited. And I'm also really excited for you to come June 5th to 8th to the retreat and do sound healing for everyone in Crete. I think it's going to be actually magical, like genuine magic.
Me too. I'm excited. It's going to be a good time.
So
All good vibes.
let me actually, you know what? I'll tell everyone how they can find the retreat and the course on my profiles. So if you're interested in the course and the retreat, you can go to True Alchemy Academy, the Instagram page, or truealchemyacademy.com. Jade's course launches in May. Of course, Jade is coming in June for the retreat, and all the information is on the website.
Hell yeah. And where can people find you?
Oh, me, my personal is K Worsley underscore WORSLEY. underscore.
Yay. And you guys know where to find me. So
And everyone knows Jade. And you know what? Let me give it graciously back to your original host, Jade.
thank you. Thank you, Kai-Lee, so much. This has been amazing. I had so much time chatting. Well, I'm like sad that like the episode is ending, but thank you guys so much for listening. With that being said, we hope that you have a good day or a good night, and we hope that you're well. Bye.